What?
Welcome to the Mortal Machine podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Chris. This is Gabe.
I'm Gabe.
The owner, curator of Mortal Machine. Gabe, who is this right here in the middle of us?
This is Vanna White.
This is Vanna White.
Yes.
Special guest. Now, I'm laughing already at how many more views we're going to get with a dog on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, this might be a move. I didn't even think about that.
Might be digging her damn... Okay. And we have another dog right over here.
Vanna's got issues with PDA. Yeah, and there's Mr. Butch is down here by my lap. At some point he'll get up in the mix, I'm sure. There he is. Hey, Butch. Hopefully they can see you. There's the boy. You want to say something to everybody.
We got two dogs on the podcast. Also, for those of you in the know, we got two galleries happening right outside the store over here, Mortal Machine, with two locations now, Gabe. It's been about 2 months since this has happened, correct?
Yeah, basically it's 2 months now, yeah.
2 months-ish, 940 and 938 Royal. Today we're going to check in about what that's been like, what's going well, where could there be improvements, what are you seeing after just 2 months in. I also wanted to touch base on something crazy that I just did, which was...
you got into an orgy with a bunch of old people on
not quite.
On a boat or something. We were like trading cantaloupe or something was what I saw. That's what they're calling it, is what
trading cantaloupe?
Yeah, I just came up with that.
Wait, you just came up with that?
Yeah.
That sounds like it's something. Trading cantaloupe?
Yeah, it's an orgy with a bunch of old people on a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if there was an orgy on this boat that I was on, I did not catch wind of it. But yes, I was on a cruise with my parents. They were celebrating 53 years of marriage.
Damn.
My birthday's coming up.
That's psychotic.
53 years?
Yes.
They like each other, dude. I think it's for real.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, they do. My parents are good.
Wow.
My parents are good. My parents are like full-time, not full-time, because that's actually a thing, full-time cruisers. They are traveling a lot. My mom retired as a travel agent now, part-time, and they've gone on 20-something cruises.
Wow.
And they took me with them this time.
Not their first, yeah.
Not their first trading cantaloupe.
Yeah. Not the first time trading cantaloupes.
Now, almost everybody who I tell, like, I just got back from this big long cruise, everyone has something to say about it, like you just did. Everyone's like, well, if you didn't see it, it was definitely happening. And I'm like, I wish I would have seen something.
Well, you mean everybody believes that old people are having orgies somewhere?
Yes, but these rooms are small, Gabe. Like, where are the orgies happening?
I mean, how do they fit all those clowns in the car?
Damn. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I'm firing them off today.
You sure are, man. You sure are. It's that kind of day.
Pretty impressive, considering I was hungover not too long ago. Yeah, wow. Well, yeah, how do they fit all those cantaloupes in the cockpit?
You're mixing them up now. You're in experiment mode. Cantaloupes in the cockpit. That's when pilots jerk each other off during a flight.
During a senior cruise, cantaloupes I feel like are a key component to a successful cruise for old folks. And I've never been on a cruise for old folks. This is all just like totally imagination.
Now, I did have cantaloupe nearly every morning.
Shocker.
I did see a lot of old people.
Did they have a fountain of prune juice?
They did not have a fountain of prune juice. But I will say I was one of, I think there's 3,000 people on the ship.
Jeez.
I was one of maybe 7 people who were in their 40s or below.
Oh, were you the youngest?
I don't think I was the youngest, but the other people who were there, who were younger, they all worked there.
Oh, okay.
But
so you were the youngest passenger that was not working for the boat.
I was the youngest passenger not working for the boat that also was staying in the same room as his parents. Because, yes, that's true, audience. I found out, I knew going into it was a suite. I didn't realize there was 0 separation. Now, shout out to my parents. My parents are great. I love my parents. And I am grateful that I had the bandwidth and the experience of being like, you know what? I'm going on a vacation with Christy and Mike as a grown man in his mid-40s. I'm not married. I don't have kids. You know, it's not super far-fetched for me to do that, and I did it. And I'll be happy with the rest of my life that I did that.
Yeah, you got that off the box.
Got it off the box.
Yeah.
There's something else that happened on this cruise that I wanted to bring to this podcast. I texted you about it while I was on the cruise. The art on the cruise was not an afterthought.
I know.
Not to say it was great or awesome, but there was art happening every single day. There was an art auction, or there was some sort of art demonstration.
Yep.
There was a little gallery
Yep.
on the main floor between the restaurants.
Yep.
And well, first of all, why do you think that is?
I mean, I've heard about cruise ship art shows. I think the first time I heard about this situation, dude, it's when I was still surviving as an artist myself. So it's been around. It's like, and I'm kind of fascinated by it because I imagine that like different types of cruises might have I would assume might have a different kind of approach as far as the kind of art. Like I bet you that like Sebastian Bach from Skid Row, like one of his like rock and roll cruises, I bet you the art that's on those cruises is different than the one that's on your like Cantaloupe orgy cruise that you were on. Wow, what a life that would be to be the curator curating these various cruise shows. But yeah, I've heard about this. I've heard that there are cruise ship, like that there is actually like a cruise ship art scene.
Yeah, so but I want to explore that more because I didn't expect the art to be good. You know, no offense, but I would say most of it was not.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I probably wouldn't think it was that good either.
I don't think you would.
Yeah.
I think there was.
That's not hard.
I think like 1 out of every 10 pieces, you may have gone, huh, maybe. But most of them, I think, would have been a hard no for you.
I will, however, say that I have had a fascination with an idea for quite a while now about curating a gallery that is strictly bad art.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
wait, go on.
It's been like for a decade now.
What, you've been thinking about intentionally doing a bad art gallery?
Yes, like finding art that is like the worst possible art and putting it all in a gallery. And I bet you at that gallery make really good money. I'm not kidding, bro. I've been thinking about this for a while. I've got like a few things I toy with, but this is an idea I've had for quite a while.
Wait, do you want to like pay rent on a place and start a new business like with a fake name, or are you talking about putting art in like a coffee shop or something?
No. You get a gallery.
You want to do this
as a gallery. I wouldn't call it Mortal Machine though, unless I found some way to kind of like play off the name with it or something. But it would be a space that is strictly just like the craziest, most ridiculous, absurd art. And it's not curated for the sake of technical skill. In fact, technical skill is a detriment to this gallery.
So then all the people who DM you saying like, how do I submit? Now you have a way for people to submit. You're like,
well, it wouldn't be the same
submissions
thing
are
as
now
my
open.
like starter league, because there's two different concepts. There is an actual like starter league gallery, which is like the NXT of Mortal Machine or something, right? I have thought about that eventually, like, oh, well, if things feel good enough a few years from now, it might not be a bad idea to have a space that is essentially developmental. So it's for artists that you can see have potential, but they're starting off really, really new, really, really fresh. And you can kind of like, but you don't have to really necessarily, because when you put an artist, it's like too fresh in with mid-careers, or you put them in certain circumstances, it might not be like the time for them. The same way that wrestlers that are in NXT, they're not ready for Raw or SmackDown yet. So I have thought a lot about the idea of a developmental gallery, but no, the idea of a gallery that is strictly the most ridiculous art possible is totally different from that.
And who works at this gallery? Do you have somebody who's in on the gimmick, or is it somebody who's not?
It's not a gimmick. It's literally a bad art gallery. You're going there to buy. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that everybody's going to find something they're going to connect with. And they're like, God, this ugly fucking painting, I love it. Why? I don't know, but I have to own it. And the other thing, too, I bet you a bad art gallery would be really affordable.
Ooh.
I bet you a lot of the art will be pretty reasonably priced.
Okay, I'm warming up to this idea, Gabe.
See, it's a brilliant idea. And it's entertaining because when you put together because it would obviously be floor to ceiling. Like I might even hang art on the ceiling inside this place. And so the entire intention of it is to completely and totally ignore any form of convention whatsoever. And that includes technique. Yeah. I guess the problem would be the artists that would be hanging in it would have to be comfortable with the idea of. So there's the problem, right?
It's like you're casting someone in a movie and you're like, we need someone who looks stupid.
I just need you to be an asshole all the time. Is that okay? Yeah, it's like the Dick's last resort of art galleries, basically.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the idea of it, sort of. Like, yeah.
Okay, wait, the Dick's last resort of art galleries is so funny.
I know, right? It would be really fun. And I think that a lot of people would enjoy it. And I actually think that it would do well.
Okay, what about April Fool's Mortal Machine 2027?
No, I want to make money.
Okay.
I want to stay on track with what we're doing, but this is an idea I've had, and it is relative to what I assume is going on in these cruise ship galleries.
Yeah, the cruise ship gallery, there was I was impressed with how often how often they were doing new shows in there for a 9-day cruise.
Yeah, it's like a festival circuit, bro. It's an actual circuit.
And I went to one of the auctions, and I gotta say, the showman in me, the person who cares about how a show, a performance is framed and curated, it gave me a lot of anxiety. I did not love the process of auctioning off the art, at least in this context.
Yeah.
The person in charge of it, she had stage presence and all that, but it was just a lot of like, make some noise. I can't hear you. Make some noise if you love art. Oh, you love art? Then maybe you want to bid on this. Just like
gross.
Just like kind of gross.
Yeah. I've been to a few of those.
Also, there was a lot of. Do you know about pre-bidding?
Sort of, but let me hear what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's obvious what you can figure it out what it is, but they had people go around. They gave us each 3 stickers, and they said, "Put these stickers on the paint on the pieces that you want to see in the auction." It doesn't mean you have to. I guess it's not. You're not being. You're not responsible for bidding by putting your thing on here.
Okay.
But they did watch you when you put the thing on there, and then they would come up to you and say, "Do you want to pre-bid?" And if it was like the bidding started off at 5,000, you could pre-bid for 4,200, something like that.
Have $5,000 paintings?
They did. I mean,
Jesus.
They did, but they didn't, if you know what I mean. So then they would get someone to pre-bid, the 4,200, and then they would put it up for auction, and they would say $5,000 is the starting bid, and they wouldn't get anyone to bid. And then they would say, we do have a pre-bid for this, though, so going once, going twice, sold to our pre-bid. And it was always, like up to $1,000 or whatever percentage less than the minimum. There were no bidding wars at the one I went to. There were no bidding wars.
Well, that's kind of a bummer.
A total bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I hate to say it, but it's like, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but it's like you watch like the Indy 500 or some NASCAR, and like there's no car accident, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, you need some fireworks somewhere. Yeah, huh?
I don't know, that metaphor doesn't super work for me, because like I don't want anyone to get into a car accident during a NASCAR event. But my point though is like I was looking,
unless Kid Rock's in the car.
I was led to believe that there would be some back and forth action here.
Yeah.
So it was a little disappointing. There were 4 people who worked for this gallery on the
Jesus
cruise ship,
Christ,
which seems like a lot.
I'm more interested in what their lives are like. I'm really into this. Now, what the fuck? This is a reality show waiting to be born. The cast is a gallery, a group of gallery employees that literally their entire lives revolve around putting on art shows and selling artwork on cruise ships where old people are having giant cantaloupe orgies. This sounds incredible to me, honestly. This sounds more like a working class White Lotus.
Yeah, I get that. Well, yeah, so my question to you then, Gabe, is what would it take for there to be a mortal machine on a cruise?
I mean, honestly, that I just started thinking about that because it's a really fun idea. I mean, one of the things that, LA Art Week happened recently, and, not shocker, I wasn't really that impressed with much. The thing that did get my attention, I know got a lot of people's attention, and something that there was a number of discussions about for multiple reasons is Jeffrey Deitch and the whole, along with Barry McGee, teamed up and took over a 99-cent store in Los Angeles that they turned into this like fucking psychotic group show. And the way that it was presented, the way that it was executed was very alternative, I think, to what a lot of folks are used to when it comes to art shows. And there was all kinds of different like discussions as far as good and bad. You want to get out of here, boss, or you want to stay on the podcast? You make your choice, princess.
The viewers are loving it. I can tell already.
Yeah, Vanna, if you want to build your
There we
audience,
go.
you got to stay in the shot. So, this notion of choosing venues that galleries might not typically choose and putting together some kind of show or special project that is geared towards that venue, I find that incredibly interesting because there are so many different types of spaces in the country that are unused that could make really interesting alternative spaces for art shows. So the idea of executing a really cool art show, there she goes. Say goodbye to the princess. That could be really fun, actually, in the right context. Who knows? Maybe that could be the bad art shows. It could be like, a bunch of really bad art that, like from thrift stores, and because to me that would be the safest way to put on a bad art show would be to buy a ton of stuff from like thrift stores and estate sales. Excuse me, and source it that way, because to me, to take on, like, I don't ever want to like tell somebody that makes bad art that they make bad art to their person, because even if I don't like the way that the art looks, I don't know what that art does for that person. Like maybe that art is literally the thing that gives their mental health the edge that they need
Sure.
to feel okay about themselves. And so, I don't want to ever discourage anybody ever from making art. In fact, I love the idea of the world being filled with bad art versus being filled with bad people. But if you're putting together a show that you're organizing strictly because the notion of it is, look at this hideously ridiculous artwork in this show and how incredible it looks together. Yeah, somebody's going to have a really interesting sense of like self-esteem to be able to be alive and put their work into something like that.
Listen, we came on this episode thinking we were going to break down the cruise ship experience, but we've actually got multiple new tracks of the Mortal Machine business plan here.
Apparently, I'm in a certain mode right now. Yeah. I was on the damn phone all day and doing all the FaceTimes and the meetings and the Google Meets. So, yeah, I guess the engine's running this way right now.
The engine is running. I love the idea of a bad art show. And comedy. Sorry, by the way, audience, I have allergies right now. So, actually, Gabe, take it from here. Hold on. I'm about to sneeze again.
Do you know the best way to cure allergies is to snort drugs?
Should I snort drugs for the first time in my life on this podcast?
Yes.
I'm teaching a kids comedy class in a few hours, so I'm going to say no.
No, we don't do any of that here. Yeah. God bless you, Mr. President. No, that's not a good one right now. It's not working well. Yeah, wow. So, well, I think the key component though is there's gonna have to be cantaloupe orgies. Oh man, yeah, you're gonna have to let me sit with this idea because there's a lot to chew on.
Wait, okay, I want to talk about the whole idea of bad art on purpose.
Yeah.
So comedy went through this recently with the whole concept of anti-comedy.
What, like Kill Tony?
Well, I don't think they. Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point. It's like this idea that people are like, I want to watch people bomb.
Comedy's too woke because we can't be racist and make fun of gay people anymore. Is that the whole thing?
I mean, yeah, all these things are at play here, right?
Yeah.
There's also intentionally poorly editing like sketch comedy.
Ah,
You know,
yeah.
like Tim and Eric popularized this.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, for sure,
I mean,
close.
I think that they did a great job with it though. So like our first experience watching this, or one of our first major experiences consuming this was actually an elite level of bad
That's
editing.
a perfect, parallel. Tim
Yeah.
and Eric, basically an art show equivalent to them. Or Andre,
Eric Andre.
Eric Andre as well. I think that, going full on absurdist. But the thing is they're not like hokey. There's something about their absurdist approach that's cringe, but it's not like intentionally. Like, I feel like Kill Tony comedy is pure shock rock shit. So it's like, what's the thing now? And I have seen some comedians that have been on those shows that have been fucking mad skilled, but then there's a bunch of dudes that just like, seems like the mechanism for them is to see, well, what is offensive that I can say, and how can I find a way to say that in a funny way? Like, that's kind of low rent to me. Whereas cringe absurdism, like when you're talking about Eric Andre or Tim and Eric, awesome show, OG stuff and all that, that's a special level of cringe. It's almost like Dadaism what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I think it's the cringe style paired with really skilled editing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moving parts, which is why when you see just like a child making cringe videos on their cell phone, that's why it actually does feel cringe, because there's not a set and a desk and editing and sound effects and costumes like there are on an Eric Andre or Tim and Eric, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's like, but like in all art, whether it's comedy or visual art or whatever, it's like a new style emerges, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until the new thing comes out. So I feel like we're at the tail end of like bad cringe
I think
comedy.
we need what is known as the worst cruise experience in history. And so it is the worst art show, the worst music, the worst comedy. Everything needs to be so awful that it's awesome. I think somebody said to me once, a long time ago, two wrongs might not make a right, but 1,000 wrongs can make something incredible.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, it's the same thing that happens at a comedy show when someone does something that's unfunny, like some sort of bit, and then they do slight variations on the bit, 5, 6, 7 times, and then they break through, and then now we're still not laughing. Like, scientifically, we're still not laughing at the bit. We're laughing that the bit is they're still trying the bit.
Yeah.
That's what we're actually laughing at.
Yeah, well, there's so many ways that could go down. God, what a social experiment.
What a social experiment.
Yeah, I'm into it.
As was this cruise.
Anybody out there with a cruise ship and some money to blow, let's do this thing. Fuck yeah. I just found out what I wanted to do for my next major curatorial project is not push the lineage of these other art forms. I want to make the worst art show possible and take it on a cruise ship with a bunch of old people having orgies with cantaloupes.
Dude, now can I play the like curator character? Can I like wear like a dumb suit and just be a terrible host?
Yeah, I mean that's it's fun that's like such a good segue, because one of the meetings today was with this artist that I've known about Robbie for a while now, but Robbie Towing, who does the We Buy Souls signs they predominantly in Los Angeles, everybody knows these signs, but then they've popped up around the country, and they pop up in Miami, and then Robbie had a booth in Scope this last year, and Robbie plays this character that is a person that works for this firm, and it's just this like really awful, sort of almost like low-level pyramid scheme feeling aesthetic and job that is a part of this like buying souls company or whatever. And we were discussing today just the notion of maintaining the kayfabe of a character that you build within an art project. And we were talking about some really fun ideas actually spinning off of what he's already got going on. And a good foundation to those art projects is making sure that the environment that this show is being shown in, and him specifically, is always in character, essentially. And so, yeah, I think that the other level to the Cantaloupe Orgy Tour would be that all the characters that are participating in it can never break character. So sort of like that Sleep No More project that was in New York for a long time. So for our bad art crews with all the old people banging in the piles of cantaloupes and the awful bands and the awful comedy, like the people that work on the ship all have to be characters that they can never break. They have to maintain that kayfabe if this project would be executed. God, imagine the live streaming.
Dude, no winking, zero winking.
Yeah,
it's like everyone is.
Well, you can't make eye contact with the guests during the Cantaloupe Orgy. It's a lot of this.
You're talking about the actual orgy?
The crew, yeah. If you're, because there's going to need to be, they're going to need people there to help with things. Like they might need more cantaloupe. Someone might be having a stroke and that got to be pulled out like of the pile.
Man,
water,
You would have been really disappointed in many ways.
No, I would have spiked their punch.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would have.
Well, that's the thing, Gabe. If
it wasn't for art, I would be like the Joker in real life. But not like murdering people just because I would think it would be fun to like dose a whole bunch of seniors on a boat and see what happens and see if I could just take over the Bluetooth and get them groovy.
They were playing Miley Cyrus.
Cool.
A lot of Queen, some Journey, and every now and then Miley Cyrus.
Journey. No, we want to take them places further than they've been with the cantaloupes. I want to.
Sure, you want a whole fruit salad.
I want to take them past the gateway of midnight. Yeah. And
okay.
Really see how weird we can get with. I mean, see, I'm bored right now. This is what I'm doing. I'm just conspiring on.
You're just like riffing on new projects. But let's close out this episode talking about projects that literally already
actually exist. Yeah.
So we're about 2 months into the second mortal space existing.
Yeah.
So there's 940 Royal, 938 Royal.
Yep.
What have we learned so far 2 months into this?
Anybody that goes to the gym that lifts weights, if you've ever had to go through a process of growth and you know what it feels like to add weight onto your routine, and then you understand the adjustment of the body to that weight, and then you raise it again and you adjust to that, that's the best way for me to describe mentally and physically the last couple of months is just like more weight. So it's just more to pay attention to, a little more stress and pressure. It's just more is all. So, but I like it. So that's the thing, right? So, and the key point to adding weight is for growth and growth of strength. And we're not going to grow if we just keep everything in 940. We're not going to be able to do some of the things that I'm setting up for us in the coming year without having the space like this. And today, one of the meetings was with folks that are LA based, and we were discussing, if there was ever a situation where additional financing or resources were to come into my hands, it's not like I'm going to go get some giant gallery space. Like, I don't want a different room. I don't want a bigger room. I don't want a Julia Street gallery. I don't want a big warehouse in LA. I don't want these big spaces because we already have something that has a personality and has a vibe, right? So it's just more about being able to execute these better shows with folks that are on a certain level. And so the key to getting to that place is by learning how to handle this weight with these two spaces. I love the way 940 feels because of 938 now. I always loved 940, but now I really love 940. 940 feels like she's able to really show people how she really is, whereas,
and that's in terms of, for people who don't know, like 940 is where the main shows are. Like
the showrooms.
Is getting new stuff in there every 6 weeks, correct?
Every 3 weeks we got
3
shows
weeks, I'm
there.
so sorry, yeah.
And there's just room to breathe now that we don't have the overflow of the merchandise, the overflow of the pieces from past shows or or available works that get sent to me that artists want me to move for them.
Yeah, and 938 Royal is where merch is. There's books, there's prints, and there's other, like, there's big serious work in there as well.
Yeah, it's additional work. It's overflow from our collection, so this way we don't have to have it in storage. The only place to look at it isn't just the website. You can actually see these pieces when you come to town at 938 as well.
So it's like a collector will want to go to both spaces, but a collector will want to be in 940 Royal. And a new fan or a younger art collector or someone who just is stumbling by, they are more likely, correct, to like go into 938 and walk out having spent a couple $100.
Yeah, it's the shop is another characterization of it that I keep calling it, and but it's like 940 is where you witness the artist's album as it gets released, and you first hear the songs, and you first sort of like you could really see them live in there, and then once the term of that particular space for those artists or that show has ended, some pieces get shifted into the second room. All depending on the size. It just depends on context. And then in some cases, too, we are going to have where both spaces are going to be packed out with engagements that are going to be opening at the same time. Like, next week, the show that we're installing is, we've got two things we're doing. We've got the group show that is in 940 that is Invisible Presence. And so that's Daniel Martin Diaz, Rachel Bridge, Michelle Melcher, and Ross Takahashi, which Ross did some really cool sculptural works for us last November in that show with Amy Soul and Casey. So we've got that going on in 940, but then the same night that's opening next door at 938 Royal, we have a pop-up takeover for Niagara Detroit, and Niagara will be here for that. So that's going to be really fun. And I like the idea that we can have these nights where we can also have events that are going on in both spaces at the same time. That just makes our openings and our space like that much more of a destination for art fans themselves. And it hopefully will get art people in the city excited enough to be like, oh, that sounds like a fucking cool thing for me to go do that night for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's just scratching the surface, really, of the things that are on deck. Now, we don't have to get into it right now, but I'm on the text threads. I'm your friend. I know there are things happening that are very exciting in the Mortal Machine universe.
Yeah, we've got Dirty Linen is. I did every year. It's like, as you know, I'm planning out next year right now, and I want to be really intentional about each year, obviously, but I don't want to move too slowly because I know that my competitors are trying to maneuver certain artists that I work with so that they can try to block off certain calendars to prevent me from working with them. So I'm trying to, number one, respond to my competitors, while also trying to be really, really intentional about the lineage of each year. And when I say lineage, the passage of show to show, so that when somebody goes back and they look at 5 years worth of our shows or 10 years with our shows, there is actually, it makes sense. It's not just like a chicken pecking its seeds in the yard like most galleries. Most galleries curate the way a chicken goes to look for feed in a yard. They're just looking for food on the floor and hoping that there's enough seed for them to eat. Sorry, they're just. Can't. Was that a punk promo?
Cutting a promo against other galleries.
I mean, that's not hard for me to do. Don't get me
all.
started.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm trying to steer this episode into the driveway.
But
I can't get you started on cutting promos.
Nah. But that's the way it goes.
Feature episode.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be plenty of opportunities in the future for me to ruin my relationships with every gallerist. That's right, Vanna. That's right. My dog hates you too. So the thing I was going to say though is, we have some very, 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 very special things that are developing, and every year, even though I might have something planned in advance, there's going to be something that's going to come to life without me anticipating it, and all of a sudden I'm going to be like, oh, that show all of a sudden went from something that I was like not so sure to now I'm like, that's fucking going to be nutso. And our Dirty Linen show this year, bro, we're going to fuck the city up, Dirty Linen now. Yeah, I did not expect some things happen that happened the last few weeks. I'm very excited about Dirty Lennon. Yeah.
Cool. Well, very exciting things all around. That's going to do it for this episode of the Mortal Machine podcast.
Sure.
If y'all haven't done this already, we need you to go to wherever you listen to the podcast, rate it, subscribe, give us the 5 stars, send it to like one friend who's curious about the art and comedy world. You know, all these projects like this, they take so much time to develop, and we're committed to it. And we're figuring out new formats. We're trying new things. And, you know, these are the early days.
Rome wasn't built in a day, babe.
Sure wasn't. So you can help us grow by spreading the word. We're also on YouTube. If you are listening on Spotify right now, but you have a YouTube channel, YouTube page, go ahead and throw us a share, subscribe over there as well. And yeah, Gabe, this has been fun. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back from the Cantaloupe Orgy. And I'm excited about the future of the bad art show. The bad art gallery.
Yeah, that project could be really fun. Although now I want it to be a full-on cruise scenario. Yeah, that's a fun idea. That could be a vacation. Yeah, for me. That would be fun.
All right, Gabe, sign us off.
All right. Yeah, let's just... God, man, I'm really, really worried that Roman Reigns is going to trash Punk's dog. I'm really worried about this. I don't know if everybody else is concerned. I just don't want to see Larry get dragged. And so with that, R.I.P. Larry. Best dog in the world besides my dogs.
Right.
Bye.